Cannibalism is one of the most looked down acts. To eat your own kind is seen as an unnatural event that only happens when animals are brought to a point of desperate starvation. Most people don't know that cannibalism is a very natural occurrence that happens in an insane amount of species every single day, even from our favorite group of animals, the dinosaurs. Hello everyone, my name is Caiden, and today we're going to be discussing some of the evidence for cannibalism in dinosaurs. Remember, if you like this kind of content, please consider liking, subscribing, maybe even throwing me a comment if you do feel so inclined. It really helps out the channel with the algorithm, and all of my sources will be linked down in the description below. But first, I guess we should probably define what cannibalism even is. If you don't know, which I don't know how you wouldn't know, cannibalism is considered eating part or all of your same species, commonly documented in amphibians like tadpoles, which often eat each other. But this isn't a video about modern animals, this is a video about dinosaurs, so we're just going to go through them rapid fire. Tigers, hippos, monkeys, beetles, ladybugs, spiders, crocodiles, polar bears, and even us humans. Humans have had a wild history with cannibalism. I mean, think of serial killers like Jeffrey Dahmer. But it has also been seen from cultures all over the world. It was used in funerary events where it was thought to be an act of grieving to eat ashes or cremated bones of someone who's died. My favorite example is just anyone who went to the doctor like 500 years ago. In Europe, in the 16th through the 18th century, instead of Big Pharma pushing autism fetus vaccines, they were pushing people to eat people. They would give out flesh and blood to people, and they loved it. The high demands caused execution rates to grow higher. But even weirder, they gave out mummia, which is ground up Egyptian mummies. This mummia was used to treat anything from a headache all the way to epilepsy. In fact, King Charles II's favorite thing to do was grind up skull bones, put it into his booze, and called it the King's Drop. Can you imagine cracking a cold one open with the boys and your friend over here is like, yeah, there's an actual dude in this. But now that we got that laid out, let's talk about some fucking dinosaurs. Do dinosaurs cannibalize? Well, the short answer is just yes, probably. The long answer is however much left of this video there is. It's important to know that just because we don't have evidence of something doesn't mean that they didn't partake in it. That's why at the beginning I explained all those animals that partake in cannibalism to show that basically all animals do this. This isn't some unnatural thing, so it would be crazy to think that dinosaurs didn't do it too. I mean, obviously, not this guy. This dude was only eating plants, but you know what I'm saying. Now, the first dinosaur that I want to talk about is Coelophysis. This little guy right here has caused me lots of stress in the past couple months. This video was originally only about Coelophysis and the evidence for it being a cannibal, but that video got corrupted, so I gave up on it and I just rewrote the whole thing, and this is the video you're watching now. So all that to say, fuck Coelophysis. Coelophysis was a small Triassic dinosaur, so that means that they're pretty much like every other dinosaur that was around during the Triassic, small and bipedal. I don't really want to hold this. Let's put you up here with my Pearl Jam album. You can hang out with Eddie Vedder and friends. Please don't quit yet, Michael. Oh, yeah. It was discovered by the one and only Edward Cope in 1881. We have found literal thousands of Coelophysis fossils, and at least 1,000 of them at one site called Ghost Branch in New Mexico. And since we've had this many fossils from the beginning, we've known what this animal has looked like for a very long time. Coelophysis has got to be one of the most consistently designed dinosaurs of all time. Just in every interpretation that it takes, it looks the exact same. In 1947, Edwin H. Colbert was working at the Ghost Ranch in New Mexico, and he saw two specimens that were very peculiar to him. These two specimens seemed to both have younger Coelophyses in the stomach. This gave it the reputation of a cannibalistic monster, a cold, evil reptile that had no feelings and would just eat its own kids. It's actually helped perpetuate that idea in all of dinosaurs, that they were all cold, evil monsters. And that's kind of how we saw Coelophysis. It was just this cannibalistic dinosaur. It kind of reminds me of like the oviraptor, how we thought that oviraptors were just eating eggs because we found them with an egg until we found out that the egg was their own egg. But a while later, we found out that these weren't younger Coelophyses. One of them was actually just a crocodilomorph, and the other one was just the adult laying on top of the juvenile when they had died. We did it, guys. We figured it out. Case closed. We're done. Until a whole recent study got done where it shows that maybe it was a cannibal? A whole new study at Ghost Ranch has found a coprolite. This coprolite seems to have some wrist and hand bones in it. I don't know, maybe it is a cannibal, I don't fucking care. Moving on. Next, I want to discuss probably the most concrete evidence that we have for dinosaurs being cannibalistic. Majungasaurus, from the island of Madagascar. Majungasaurus was an abelisaur, so think like Carnotaurus. It lived from 72 to 66 million years ago. Now, Madagascar had split like 80 to 90 million years ago, so this dinosaur most likely evolved in Madagascar and just absolutely dominated everyone in it. And it's got an interesting paleontological history. It was discovered in 1896 and was first thought to be a megalosaurus. It wasn't until 1955 that it was described as its own genus. In 1979, a skull fragment was found that was thought to be a pachycephalosaur because of the dome-headed skull. It was verbose. It was known for its verbosity, just absolute thickness. This dinosaur was named Majungasaurus. But as you probably could have guessed, because we're talking about Majungasaurus, not Majungasaurus, Majungasaurus was actually not a thing. It was just a Majungasaurus the whole time. We've actually found a lot of Majungasauruses in Madagascar, so we've been able to study their ontogeny a lot and found that they grow very slowly. Majungasaurus is one of the only dinosaurs that we have direct evidence for being cannibalistic. We have found a lot of their fossils to be heavily bitten up. These teeth marks line up almost perfectly with Majungasaurus' own teeth. And as Majungasaurus is the only predator of that size in this area, it's pretty safe to say that it was Majungasaurus. Whether these were actually the results of consumption or the results of just like heavy fighting is still up for debate, but paleontologists are very confident in saying that these bite marks did belong to Majungasaurus. Due to the amount of fossils that we have that were bitten up, it's safe to say that this was happening pretty regular. Finally, we have the one and only Tyrannosaurus Rex. We all know Tyrannosaurus Rex. I don't even have to introduce this dude to you. You already know that this dinosaur dominated the Cretaceous. You already know that this thing lives 83 to 66 million years ago in Western North America. You already know that at this time, America was split down the middle by the interior Western Seaway, and this part was called Laramidia. Did you guys already know that? I don't have to explain this to you. So let's just go ahead and talk about the evidence for the cannibalism. 4 T-Rex specimens were found to have bite marks in their fossils. These bite marks could have only been left by large theropods. These bones did not heal, which means that they were probably bit during death or after death, which suggests cannibalism and not like some combat or like a fierce mating ritual. Unless you know there was like a serial killer T-Rex out there just killing for sport. That would actually be fucking sick, I'm not gonna lie. While the marks on the fossils do line up almost perfectly with the teeth of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, it is important to note that there were other Tyrannosaurs like Daspletosaurus or Gorgosaurus that were in the area, but it is commonly accepted that the tooth marks came from a Tyrannosaurus Rex tooth. These are only 3 examples of cannibalism that's found in dinosaurs. I could have mentioned that there's been cannibalism found in the Allosaurus, this guy right here, and also some evidence found in the Deinonychus, but these are very controversial and I just don't want to talk about them, so you can do that on your own time. I hope you have come to realize that cannibalism is just a natural thing that happens in dinosaurs and animals everywhere. It's not something that happens due to extreme conditions, it's just part of being an animal. And hey, you can't judge. We used to do it all the time. If you enjoyed this video, I would love a like, a comment, and subscribe. Throw a comment in there too, why don't you? This video really has taken like 5 months to film now because it was originally going to be about the Coelophysis, but I had to scrap that whole video because it scrapped itself. So I hope this one comes out and I don't waste another 3 whole days of filming and editing just to not get it out, because if I do, then you won't be seeing another video for like another 5 months. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time.